This is the video series entitled Why You Should Buy a 1911. This one you see before you is a Springfield Armory 1911. It is a range officer. Let's go ahead and take a look at this 1911 Model A1 style semi-automatic pistol. First thing we're going to do before we touch it is we're going to make sure it's safe. There's the magazine release, remove the magazine, take the magazine out of the picture, go ahead and rack the slide, locking the slide back. I have visibly and physically inspected the slide, or chamber rather, inside the slide and the magazine well. There are no rounds present. This firearm is made safe. Now that that's done, let's go ahead and talk about why I think you should buy a 1911. Why I think you should buy a 1911 is, one, it's part of history. It is part of a particular American history. It has served the American military for a long time. Many police officers have carried this very gun, well, not this particular gun, but the 1911, as a duty weapon to defend the public. But more than just law enforcement use and military use, I think it is an excellent pistol. The feeding is very reliable in a good magazine. It's a very easy pistol to use, very easy to operate. The grip safety you defeat as soon as you hold the grip. Don't even have to think about it. And then your thumb, deactivating the slide safety by right in here. Once you learn how to hold the firearm with your thumb above the safety, it just happens. And I think it's a relatively easy firearm to break down, to disassemble for cleaning. There's a little bit more work involved than, let's say, in a Glock 17 or a Glock 19, or any Glock for that matter, I suppose. But it's not a difficult task to disassemble the frame or slide fully. Yeah, there's a little bit more work involved, but it's not an insurmountable task by any means. One of the things that I like the most about the 1911 system is the trigger followed by the weight. All right, let's talk about the trigger. The trigger operates by, when you pull it rearward, it rides on the rails. There's the rail, if you see a cutout of one, where the trigger rides back on the sides. It doesn't swing, it doesn't pivot, it doesn't have any squish. It goes straight back, and once you go to a certain point, it'll break and discharge. All right? I think that makes it an easier pistol to shoot, especially for new shooters, because you don't have to worry about the squishiness of the trigger. You don't have to worry about the swing of the trigger when you pull. Your finger being in different places, you pull the trigger back. It rides the rails. When you pull this trigger, the trigger itself rides rails backwards, and hence makes it very easy to shoot. Let me go ahead and demonstrate that in a second. First I'm going to mention the other thing, the weight. When you've got this much steel, the whole frame is steel, the slide is steel, the barrel is stainless steel, you've got a lot of metal here. When you've got a full magazine, there's a lot of rounds, 230 grain rounds of lead. That's a lot of weight. And even the magazine is metal. Floor plate is metal underneath this hard plastic. This is a lot of weight. And that weight helps absorb recoil, helps keep it steady in your hand. Yes, if you hold it out for a long time, it'll fatigue quicker, but it also is more solid to grab onto. It's going to take some of that recoil because of the weight itself holding, especially with a nice long barrel. It's going to keep it from flipping up. It's really excellent because of the weight as well. Now, back to the trigger. I'm going to go ahead and show you. Again, we know it's been made safe. It won't discharge without this safety and the thumb safety and keep disengaged. I'm going to go ahead and let it dry fire this so you can see. Now, I have a screw I can adjust to take out some of it, but I'm used to shooting a Glock 17, so I like a little bit of let up because I'm used to it, so I prefer a little let up. You can take a lot of that out. I could take a lot more of that out. But here's my point of why the trigger is so easy. Again, this pistol's been made safe, but even if somehow a round magically appeared, it's pointed in a safe direction, so it will hurt no human being, but will destroy my drywall and be lodged into my crawl space. So, that being said, I know that won't happen, but if it does, it's not a human being or anywhere it can harm anyone. That being said, let's go ahead and show you. I take up the slack, and then the trigger rides rails right inside the frame, go around the magazine, so I can't do anything but go straight back. The only option for this trigger is to go straight back. If I'm pushing on it any weird way, the only option for it to travel is straight back. So, especially for new shooters, I'm going to go ahead and grip it. You don't have to worry about, even if you deep knuckle it or whatever. I like to pad my finger, especially on the 1911. You don't have to worry about influencing the trigger in any particular way because it can only travel straight back. So I like that. That's another reason I think you should own a 1911. History, the weight makes it easy to shoot, the trigger makes it easy to shoot. The fact that it's just an excellent firearm, very reliable. The accuracy on this is fantastic. Fantastic. I keep pushing it myself to my shooting limits because this gun will surpass me, and I appreciate that. Target sights, I like that. It's one of the features I liked about this. The long front blade, the long sight radius of most 1911s have. It's going to make it easier to shoot versus short sight radius. If the front pin was here, if the barrel was only that long, a little bit of difference is a greater deal downrange. I like the long sight radius. I like the feel that when you pick this pistol up, you feel you're holding on to a piece of history. You're holding on to a heavy piece of metal. Anyway, there are so many reasons why you should have a 1911. Those are just a few that I have. Please feel free to share your opinions and thoughts. I mean, another one you might want to throw out there is how common this is that you can buy drop-in beaver tail safeties, drop-in parts all over. You can buy a new barrel, you can buy a new trigger. You can do so many modifications because it's so common that you can accessorize this to exactly what you want because it's so common. And that's a pretty cool thing. Anyway, 1911, another pistol you should own. Thanks for watching.